in order to be excellent and in order to succeed. Number 1 is phone efficiency. Number 2 is building rapport. And number 3 is name dropping. I'm just going to teach you a few tips to help all of you with each of that. Number 1, the key to efficiency is preparation. Mike once told me that the average telemarketer makes over 100 calls an hour. And a bunch of your eyes just kind of popped out of your head, which is pretty funny. But I kind of looked at that in the perspective of, I don't know if any of you have worked in telemarketing before, but a telemarketer, they have someone dialing for them. They hang up the call, and then they pick up, and it's already ringing. So obviously, that helps out with 100 calls an hour. They don't build any rapport, and their calls are much shorter. So if an average telemarketer can make 100 PR calls an hour, I can at least make 100 PR calls per shift. I worked 11 to 7 as a full-time PRA. So like I said, preparation equals efficiency. So PRAs that have these things before making any phone calls. Number 1 is a telephone score sheet, which looks like this. I'm going to pass these out. Some of you may use these already. I know my office does, and I know the Smithtown office does. There's 20 numbers on a line. Okay? You sign in the date and the time that you start making your phone calls. Every time you make a call, you put a slash through it. Every time you actually become in contact with someone, you put an X through that number. And every time you actually set someone up for an interview, you put an X and a circle around it. So it's 20 calls per hour, and you can track it really easily because there's 20 calls per line. It was originally made for reps, but I figured it's good enough for reps, it's good enough for receptionists. And then you just mark your time out. And at the bottom it even says, so you can tell your manager a lot easier, hey, I made 50 phone calls today, I got in touch with 16 people, I set up 15 people for interview. Boom, everything's right there. There's no digging through Vector Live. So that's number 1. Number 2, always have your approach. Number 3, always have that question sheet that Mike just handed out. And number 4 is the representative's welcome sheet. All of my PRAs have the representative's welcome sheet from their day 1 of training stapled to their PR leads. Has all their information on it, where they go to school, where they went to school, how they found out about the job, what they even like to do. So it just helps a lot with building rapport. Also, never hang up the phone. I cannot stress that enough. Never hang up the phone. The more you hang up the phone, the more you have the chance to get distracted. Think about it. If you have the phone in your hand, just the thumb over the receiver, you're going to make a call. It's already there. It's already in your hand. You put that phone down, there's more time to talk to a rep, talk to another receptionist, fix your hair, go to the bathroom, get something to eat. Whatever. You get a lot more distracted. If you just have the phone in your hand, you're going to make call after call after call. Also, organization is key, like I mentioned with Jen's book. But make sure you always have the newest PRs in one place so they're easier just to go through. It's a lot faster that way. Otherwise, you're organizing leads as you're making calls, which is completely inefficient. We have three binders. One is new PR leads, one is newest PR leads, and one is just old leads. I don't understand the difference between anyone, but that's their job, not mine. Now, I know that building a sufficient amount of rapport with each applicant, it's impossible to call 20 or 30 people an hour if you're building the amount of rapport that you should be. However, if you're building that much rapport, you should be setting up at least 3 or 4 people per hour. Now, building rapport. Does anyone know what building rapport is? Like before they even started working here, did anyone know what it meant? I had no clue. No clue. It's small talk. That's all it is. Building rapport is a fact-finding mission about your applicant. That's it. I'm actually going to do a little exercise with you guys. What I want you to do, and I'm going to pair you up, what I want you to do is find a connection with the person I pair you up with. I'm going to use Lauren as an example just because I did this with her when she first started. What I mean by finding a connection is finding something that you can expand on with that person. So for example, so Lauren, your friend Kim actually recommended you for a job. Did she tell you anything about it?
No.
Okay, how do you know Kim? Did you go to school with her?
No, we grew up together.
Okay, well what school do you go to?
National.
Oh really? What do you go for?
Nursing.
Oh, I actually have 2 of my receptionists that go to BOCES for nursing. What type of nursing did you want to go into?
Emergency room nurse.
Oh, really? My boyfriend's mom is actually an emergency room nurse. What really excites you about it?
Just the thrill of helping people in need.
That's awesome. I actually saw his mom remove his stitches from his head in their living room. It was kind of one of the coolest and terrifying things I've ever seen in my life. It's really gross, but it was interesting. But you see, I don't know anything about nursing. I don't know anything. I was a music theater major. You see, immediately, as soon as you said nursing, I brought that right back to, number one, The Office, and number two, something that we could talk about on a personal level, and how she's much more comfortable with me, because we're not talking about the job. I'm not just diving right into, hey, it's $17.25 an hour or for appointment. Okay? So what I want you to do is, what do we have? We have Brooklyn, Eastern Queens, Suffolk, right? Okay. What I want you to do, because this kind of works out really perfectly, the two in the back, you guys can be partnered, and everybody else can just kind of turn around in their seats. Well, the one in the front row can turn around. Okay. So Shannon, Victoria, Michelle, Shakira, Kate.